everyone, Kayla here. This is What the Kink, a natural hair channel where I share my personal hair journey and tips and tricks and product reviews to help you with your own. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and tap the bell for notifications. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and address the big elephant in the room. You probably read the title and you said, how is this Florida Natural going to tell me about winterizing a wash and go? Okay, this was a request, first of all, and second of all, I have actually lived places where there are seasons and where it is cold, and I have been in the snow. So I grew up in Georgia. I'm specifically from Warner Robins, Georgia. I went to college in Tuskegee, Alabama at the Tuskegee University, and I also lived in Dover, Delaware. So I knows about it, y'all. I used to stand out at recess duty, okay, with the snow out there with the kids, okay? Somebody got to do it. So that is why I've done some things to change my routines and my actual physical, how I do my wash and go during times when the weather is cold. So the first tip that I want to bring to you is one that was the main thing that I did, if anything at all, and that is make sure your hair is 100% dry before you step outside that door. I am never really one that changes my products very much when the seasons change, when I've lived places where the seasons change very much, but I did start making sure my hair was dry. In the summertime, that's why I love a wash and go, because I can literally from dirty to styled is an hour and a half for me, and then I can go out and do whatever I want to do and be out here air drying and being great. But in the wintertime, especially if you live somewhere that has a harsh winter, no ma'am. No ma'am. You need to have your hair 100% dry. If you do not have a dryer to sit under, I will actually link the dryer that I use. It's a roll dryer that actually stands up. I will link the dryer that I use in the description box below. Also, if you don't have the money for an actual full sit under hair dryer, they actually make this little attachment that you can put on your blow dryer, and then you put the hood inflates and you put it over your head. Girl, that works too. I used to do that in college. Something, but please don't come outside with wet hair. It is an old wives' tale that you get a cold by having a wet head, but even though that's not true, having wet hair doesn't help. All right, it does not help. And that's usually, as I said before, that was usually the only winterization of my regimen that I have done. So the second tip that I want to give to you is glycerin with caution. Glycerin with caution. So we know that in the summertime, glycerin can cause our hair to swell and poof out and be sticky and all of those things. Well, in the summertime, in the wintertime, if you live in a place that is dry, what can happen with glycerin is that glycerin can suck all the moisture out of your hair and leave your hair feeling drier than it was before. Thankfully for me, that's not an issue in Florida, wasn't an issue in Georgia, and wasn't an issue in Alabama and Delaware. Delaware is the exact opposite of dry. Oh my God, even in the wintertime, it is the exact opposite of dry in Delaware. But if you happen to live someplace that is cold and dry, glycerin with caution. Change out your products. The next tip that I want to give you, and actually the next two tips have to do with the use of creams in your wash and go. So I typically follow a routine where I use a leave-in and a gel. That's it. I used to do a routine in the past where I did a leave-in, a curl cream, and a gel. And that's when my gel had a little bit more hold than what it has today. So one tip that I can recommend for you, if you're finding that you have switched to drying your hair completely, you're cautious against the glycerin thing, and you're still finding that your hair still needs that little bit of moisture, you can actually swap out your regular leave-in for a curl cream. This might give you the extra bit of moisture that you need underneath your gel. I only recommend this tip if you use hard hold gel. Like I use wet lime. Gels like Eco would be able to stand up to you using something a little heavier underneath it. So some suggestions of curl creams. Before I was vegan, or before I was actually fully trying to use vegan products, I used to use Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie. I use Cantu, the leave-in, and the curl cream. All three of those contain silk, which is why I do not use them anymore. Some vegan options, you can use the Maui Moisture Curl Quench Coconut something or other. You can also use the Obia Naturals Curl Moisture Cream. I didn't enjoy it as a leave-in, but you may. And then you can also use the Fluffalicious Curl Nutritious from Soultanicals, which is something else I've also used as a curl cream. That might give you the extra boost that you need. Now, if you are someone who uses a lighter hold gel, you can actually put the gel on first, get all the hold that you need from the gel, and then follow it with a cream or a little bit of a leave-in over the top so that you can kind of protect your hair and get the extra moisture in. I actually got this concept from Curl Mix. The owner of Curl Mix and her husband and all that, they live in Chicago, and they have coined this phrase of reverse wash and go. And if you look up reverse wash and go, a bunch of videos that either feature their products or videos that are from them come up. And also there's a hairstylist that's friends with the owner of Curl Mix, and I mentioned, like in passing, she mentioned that she does this. She puts the gel on and then puts a cream over the top. I would think a gel that you might do this with is maybe something like Uncle Funky's Daughter, because I couldn't see you putting a whole cream underneath Uncle Funky's Daughter's gel and expect it to still have the same level of hold. I don't know about that. So this is just a suggestion for people who maybe you use a lighter hold gel, you wanna put the cream on top. Now this last tip is a bonus Brenda tip, okay? My mom was talking to me on the phone the other day, and I told her about this video, and I said I was gonna make it. And my parents used to live in New Jersey before I was ever thought about at the beginning of their marriage. And she said, watch out for hats, okay? Watch out for hats, girl. She said wool caps can pull your hair out, and hats will just dry your hair out overall. And I wasn't gonna include this tip because your girl doesn't wear hats. Even when I was out there recess duty in the snow in Delaware, I still didn't have a hat on. I don't wear hats. I just don't. They just feel funny on my head. I feel like I have a skinny neck, and then the hair, I just don't wear hats, y'all. But the rare moments when I did wear a hat, like my hair just didn't look good or whatever, I usually tie my scarf on, the same one I wear to bed, and then put my hat on over that. You can also get the satin line caps. There's different varieties. You can get a baseball cap style, a slouch cap style. They got all types of satin line caps out these days. Matter of fact, if you have one that you actually really like to wear, go ahead and put that in the comments so that other people can get themselves a hat, honey, if you like to wear hats. So I hope that this has helped you to winterize your wash and go. Yes, you can wash and go in the winter time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned to the end card so that you can see some other videos on my channel. And if you find that you are watching a lot of them, go ahead and subscribe.